All right, welcome to our mukbang episode of this podcast.
Who's a mukbang?
Isn't that like the thing where people eat food? It's like the Korean phenomenon where they like eat food and that's like their thing. They record themselves eating food. How you been, David?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I think I'm sick. I think I'm giving these people a lot of noises to listen to. It's been a busy time.
Yeah, midterm season.
Mm-hmm. How have those gone for you?
It's hard. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what was your most difficult midterm? Or are you still taking midterms right now?
I think I'm almost done. Let me think. I just had to write like a long essay, a couple essays, and those are just really annoying to do.
Mm-hmm. What classes in particular?
I had to do one for my history class, and then I think I had one for my writing class. What about you?
Hey everyone, welcome to Tales from the Bluff. The show where we have a whole lot of guests and a whole lot of energy. Today our guest is each other.
The food you're eating.
Yes.
At hummus.
Mm-hmm.
Today
our guest is better audio quality. Who?
Let's ask him a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, inspiration to create a podcast canceled today, so all we have is good audio quality.
Yeah. It's not a good episode, but it sounds great.
Yeah. This is definitely more of a test run. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about this podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the future of the podcast.
All right.
I think we should start interviewing people that aren't in Seaver.
It's tough because, like, a lot of people don't want to do this podcast. When you talk about it, you're like, hey, are you free to do this? And they're like, I don't want to. And then you're just like, oh, okay, never mind then.
That's weird because it's, like, mostly on your side, too.
Yeah. It's really annoying.
Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of people that I ask are really enthusiastic to be on the podcast. That's why everyone that's been on the podcast so far has been a friend of mine. And it's so strange, too, because even during the phone call episode, like, pretty much the only people that picked up were people that I called.
Yeah.
So maybe, I think that there's a natural conclusion from this, and say it with me now.
I don't want to.
But, yeah, it's weird, because it really does seem like this is something that, it's literally just a conversation. And I don't know, maybe it's just ill-defined, like, what that means.
Like, I asked Yogi, and he was like, no, I got work. I've got to do work. And I was like, all right.
Today?
Yeah. Holy
shit. So you literally tried to get a bunch of guests lined up, and none of them worked out?
Yeah.
Miles
didn't want to do it.
It's literally just, like, hanging out.
I know, right?
So
I think on some level they're scared to have their voice out.
Yeah.
They're scared to talk.
What makes you think that you're, like, what allows you to have the confidence to share your voice on the internet?
Just that I don't care.
Yeah, neither do I. And I think there are a lot of people that care too much about it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, because, like, it's so weird because, I mean, I'm going to start sounding really preachy. Mm-hmm. But with stuff like Snapchat and Instagram, like, we're in a generation where, like, people are pretty vain about, like, sharing themselves and their exploits on the internet. It's just really weird that it's like they'd be willing to put a picture of themselves doing whatever the fuck. But then
people are willing to post, like, 1 million selfies, but they're like, oh, if I have to, like, talk into a microphone.
And not even have my face there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that weird. They're worried that they won't be able to filter themselves properly as you can with, like, social media, I think.
That is very interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, as you know, I have my reservations about social media, and it's not like I necessarily, like, hate it and hate everyone that uses it, because if I did hate everyone that uses it, I would hate everyone.
Yeah. You don't hate me.
No, and I don't hate you.
You love me.
I think I mean, YouTube / Spotify / whatever medium you use to give your podcast is technically a form of social media.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I'm so like much more partial to it is because it does feel like it's a raw expression of myself rather than some sort of like filtered thing.
Yeah.
Some sort of nonsense. But that's really interesting because I think, I don't know, like I feel like I can really learn new things about people if they show up to this.
Yeah, I know.
Because they recognize that the environment of the podcast is like sort of this. It's like, we're going to ask you questions about what your life is like, and you can share those things. And those aren't things that really come up usually in conversation. They're things that are more like, I don't know, you really have to dig in, or really the only context where those questions like work and aren't weird is when you are interviewing them for a podcast.
Exactly.
Because it's like, I don't think I would ever learn about AJ or Jake's families.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because that's not something that you usually talk about, and yet it's still something that's so interesting and such a salient part of your being.
Yeah.
That it's like, it's so great to learn those things about people. I notice you have a new thing. Is that yours? Or is that Connor's?
It's Caleb's.
Oh, Caleb's. What is
As the audience can see, we're looking at a new, what do you call it? I almost called it a pastel.
Like a tapestry?
Tapestry.
That's close. Pastel tapestry.
My brain was trying to figure that one out. But yeah, new tapestry. It's of New York City. It's on my wall. It's my roommate's.
It's black and white. You got the Empire State Building in the center. Is Caleb a big fan of New York City, or was he just a big fan of the aesthetic?
I think he just liked the aesthetic of it.
It's cool. It really bothers me that it has to hang beneath that
fire alarm. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that's a big one, man. That must have been not cheap.
It's nice though.
You've seen the decorations in my room, right?
Yeah.
Those make it feel so much bigger, and yet it's still such a small room.
Yeah, your room's tiny. It's a boy's room.
It's a little.
It's the little boy's room.
I have all my residents constantly knocking on the door, being like, "Is this the little boy's room?"
Do any of your residents knock on your door?
Only during one-on-ones. Have I told you about that? Like our intentional conversations?
So you have to like plan out a conversation with someone?
Yeah.
We didn't do that last year.
Yeah, you did. It's a mandatory thing every year.
When? No one had a one-on-one with me.
What? You didn't like talk to Cade?
Like in the like I would just like see him and be like, "Hey, Cade."
But he didn't like sit down with you and be like ask you sort of like a bunch of questions?
I don't know. Like maybe he was good at disguising it. Like I didn't know I was
pretty
having
clever.
One-on-one.
Man. Yeah, I wouldn't do that to my residents.
You just like come to my room.
No, it's been really cool. Also, I guess it sort of circles back around to what we were talking about. Like, because I have such minimal interactions with my residents, since they're all kind of like ships passing in the night. It's good to just like have a sit down with them and ask them how they're doing, because a lot more stuff comes out than you would usually hear from them. And I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of my residents a lot better. And I was complaining about doing these one-on-ones / they're called intentional conversations technically. But I was really reluctant to do them at first because I felt like it was some sort of like dumb thing. But I really do see how it like benefits in terms of like a community building aspect.
Yeah, I get that.
Because there's been a community shaped void in my heart since leaving Rosecrans, because it's not nearly as strong in Delray North.
Yeah, there's just like no community in the non-freshman dorms. Just sad.
Yeah. How has that been? Like, do you wish you could talk to more people?
I do wish it was, because I just kind of like the camaraderie, and sort of like you just go out in the common room, you say hi to people, you go to the bathroom, you'd see a bunch of people. It was just a lot more open. And with apartments, it's just everyone does their own thing.
Yeah.
I hear even like sophomore like suite styles and like dorms at like other colleges, it's like everyone's still closing themselves off and sort of isolating like from the community, which sucks.
And it's such a closed mindset too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I had a successful freshman year, I made my friends, now I don't need to make any more.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are acting like. It's kind of sad because you meet someone, you're like, oh, they're really cool, but then they have their pre-established friend group from last year, and you're just like, they're not going to try to let you in or anything.
Yeah. I know, I've been able to make a pretty decent amount of new friends this year. And all of them just happen to be people that like weren't like just closed off to their friend group.
Yeah,
and that's been really nice.
There's still open people that are much nicer.
No, some of my strongest relationships right now are with people that like were not confined to that.
Yeah. Also, freshmen are really good, like, people to make friends with. As weird as that sounds, but they're just, like, totally open to it.
They definitely are. And it's nice. Yeah, there's these two folks in my theology class named Isaac and Alan, and they're both freshmen in my theology class, and now we're sort of this group of people called the Bagel Boys, and we go to Einstein's after every theology class every morning, because we literally, our teacher, the class goes from 8 to 9, and in 1 hour class is already so short. He literally like stops with 15 minutes left in the class like every single day, so we always have time to go to breakfast together. It was really funny because one of the things we were talking about the other day with the Bagel Boys was our shared love of Calvin and Hobbes. Great comic, right? But we were like, man, it like that comic stopped a while ago, but like, how did it end? And Alan was just like, wait, no. Isaac said Calvin eats Hobbes. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that we talk about, but it is great. He's like, yeah, it's really easy to make friends with freshmen because...
Yeah, they're just like way more open to it. Like I befriended like the freshmen in my Chinese class really easily, and they're like more reliable than like a lot of sophomores, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like everyone still has the capacity their years after freshman years to be as social as they were. People just don't care. It's so sad. This has become a sad podcast.
For some reason, sophomores just don't care. They're just not open to it, like to making new friends, which is really weird. And I wonder if that's like just a time thing. Like, as juniors, are they going to be still more closed off, or will they kind of revert back to being open?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think it might be like, you know how when you're like 13, you're like, I'm grown up now, because you're older than those like elementary school kids.
Maybe.
And you're finally a teenager, and you're like, haha, like I'm too cool for any of this other stuff.
Yeah.
But then by the time you're like 17, you realize how stupid you were when you were 13. I think there might be like some hubris with sophomores right now that's like, oh yeah, like I have a good friend group, whatever.
Yeah.
I think unfortunately for some people it's probably gonna like have to be like a falling out with their main group of friends.
That's what I'm thinking is like by the end of this year, a lot of people are gonna fall out with their friend groups for like one reason or another, or like
first time living with them,
or like some relationship messes it up. You know, sometimes people only friends are like the person they date's friends, and then that gets all messy, or like some conflict arises.
Yeah, somebody in that circle is gonna lose a lot of friends.
I don't know if people definitely have like acquaintances though that they're just gonna use as backup friends, which is interesting. Yeah, people are wild.
I know it's weird. Have you ever been that backup friend?
Yeah. Uh-oh. It's just annoying. It's like, you know, someone kind of decently, and you're always just like, oh, let's do more, and then they're like, nah.
But then all of a sudden they're like, hey.
It's like when their plans fall through, then they're like, oh, I'll hit up this person. You're like, never, no. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
People are called snakes.
If you're gonna say something funny, why do you immediately take a drink of water after it? Because you're just putting yourself in danger of choking.
That's the goal.
Oh shit!
It's to choke on the podcast and die.
Oh, nice. Because then you'll have the Holy Spirit working.
My last will and testimony: all of my possessions go to.
At what age do you think it's appropriate to write a will?
I don't know. I kind of want to write one now, just in case.
Oh God!
It would be kind of fun, I think.
But like, would you want to wait until a point in your life when you're like, until you like know what possessions you have?
No, because it would be fun, because I can just look at the random crap at my desk and be like, to my friend Miles, 3 of my pens.
Literally, here's the thing though, right? The reason I asked is because it's like, if you're like kind of young and you write a will, like that's like a mental health concern.
I know, that's
like
why I haven't done
that. If I was an RA
it.
and I saw that one of my residents was writing a will, I would be like, do we need to talk about something?
Yeah, I get that. I just want to do it for fun. Just so I can be like, my dry erase board markers go to Alex more. Just give random stuff to everyone. Just like some guy I talked to once in my class, he gets my water bottle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is very interesting.
What's
Cora
in that?
encouraged me to get one of these. water, lemon, ginger, pineapple, stevia, cayenne.
Stevia.
It's apparently I don't know what it is. Does it have
It's like
caffeine?
lemonade. What is it, actually?
Okay, you can read the ingredients to the audience if you so please.
The ingredients are purified water, organic lemon juice, organic ginger juice, organic pineapple juice, organic stevia leaf extract powder, organic ground cayenne pepper.
That's it?
Calories 15. Total carbohydrate 4 grams. This does not have like a lot of sugar or anything in it. This is pretty
It's like
healthy.
really healthy, yeah.
It's called a Suja, organic cold pressed. Water, make a splash, lemon. Yeah. Is this good?
Very. I mean, the reason I said, oh wow, is just because I was not expecting it. It literally tastes like cayenne and ginger and pineapple. But I got it because I feel sick, and Cora recommended it to me. Vegan, organic, cold pressed, no added sugars, no preservatives, no added flavors. We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored by Suja.
Apparently there's this app called Anchor, which like literally just is...
Sponsored?
No, I was talking to one of my residents about this because he also has a podcast. But it's called Anchor. You literally just put your shit on Anchor.
Oh.
And then it puts it to all the things.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like if I had known about that.
God.
It's fine though. I mean,
It's fine.
here's the thing, is that a lot of these episodes have been rough drafts. I think we're still trying to find out.
A lot of these episodes have been no good.
Yeah, let's rank our episodes so far.
First episode 0. Wait, pull them up. I don't remember everything
here
we've
we go.
done.
Episode 0.
Uh-oh.
Us 2. George of the Jungle.
That was okay.
Episode 1. Jake.
That was okay.
Episode 2. Phone a friend.
That was good.
That was good. Episode 3. Danny, Caitlin.
That was a good one. I think.
Episode 4.
Is Jake? No,
Who was
not
that?
Jake.
Was
Is
AJ?
AJ? That was okay.
We've only had 5 episodes.
We've only had
What
we've
the
had
fuck?
so few.
What have you been doing? We've just been slacking off.
I mean, this is only week like 8.
Isn't week 9 about to start?
Yeah. So I mean we missed a couple weeks because of midterm, Fallapalooza. So I mean,
An autumn day weekend.
there's just not that many weeks in the year.
That's true.
Like there's less than you think.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're good. Like to have like
Yeah.
over 50% of the weeks covered.
Yeah. We're great.
Yeah. Unfortunate that people don't want to show up
People don't want to come to the
I know.
camera.
on camera. He said he would be interested in trying again, but he's in Seaver now, so we're not interested in him. Yeah, but like, I mean,
We should call people and call them out.
No, we're not doing that again. I think we should take like the best segments from all those episodes.
And make
and then-
one good
And then have
episode.
that be what we do in the future.
Just one good episode.
There's a lot. Hello.
He didn't say hi.
He does not take orders.
Aww.
The Suja.
The audience loves you.
They don't know me.
True.
Oh boy.
But I believe I began this podcast by saying we should talk about the future of this podcast.
Uh-oh, are you proposing? Are you breaking up with me?
I'm proposing a strategy.
Ooh.
I think when we have guests, it can be intimidating for me at least, because I'm usually the one asking like a lot of the brunt of the questions, which is totally fine. It's very stressful to like ask them because it does like, I mean, even though it does have like the added benefit of like them sharing stuff that they wouldn't normally share, it is like a little unnatural and it makes the conversation not be as authentic as the one that we're having right now. So I think like in terms of like taking the best components of each of our episodes, I think that the reason that the Phone a Friend one was so good is because it was like a lot of us just like authentically interacting and then throwing people into like the environment of like welcome to the podcast. And
I think we need to do less of like interviewing people and more just like hanging out.
Yeah. It's hard to do that with like the goal of our thing, which is like what are LMU students up to. But I guess that stuff will probably naturally come out
Yeah,
anyway.
that's exactly the point.
So, yeah, I think... I know we just keep, like, kind of losing focus of... Like, what?
What's going on?
But, like, reinventing the podcast and also, like, this Anchor app, like, it's fine that we haven't been doing stuff now because this could just be, like,
this is like our
pitch.
test
This
run.
is like the pitch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is our pilot. Our pilot podcast.
Pilot podcasts, 5 episodes. I say we have until, like, episode 10 to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Drink. And then we can just do a super cut of all the best moments from all the different ones. But a segment that I really did like, the one that kind of like spontaneously came into being, was the 5-second questions thing.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I think we should do more of that. I think we're sort of forcing the share a dream segment. I feel like audio quality. That's the next thing. You can't get good audio quality unless you spend money.
And we are poor.
Yeah. We are short on funds. At least short on funds that we're willing to spend. Because just like getting a console alone for microphones is like $180. And that's not even counting the microphones.
Yeah.
And all the other, like, probably apps that you have to install to, like, make it work that way.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. And I wish that, like, there was a straightforward, like, instruction online that said what you need to make a podcast. So some people are like, get the VX901 updated module.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like anytime I like eat anything, I bet this whole podcast, like my audio is just like.
Probably. The guests love it. It's like ASMR.
So close to my insides.
Welcome
to the lowest energy podcast.
ASMR podcast.
You still haven't made the email.
No, I haven't.
I ask you. So that might be something. And then just a better place to record, frankly.
Yeah. We'll just have to rent a warehouse.
What? Go to like a U-Store it.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this storage unit only have sound pads in it?
I don't think we can even afford sound pads.
We could always do, no, not that room in Seaver. That would suck. The sound quality would be awful.
We should just do it in the middle of the mall.
I don't think we should do that. I mean, it would be like you'd run out of like a studio arts room. Recca.
I don't know how to do that.
Studio arts, recording arts, what am I talking about? Wow.
I'm so thirsty.
I'm very under the weather, too. I've just been like kind of going 130% forever. And I think I've been sick probably for the last like 3 to 4 weeks. But I just haven't really had the time, or like I guess
you haven't had time to be sick.
No, it's like I have so much adrenaline going through my body, like always, that it's difficult to like just.
I think you just gotta be sick.
I know, but my body is like, nope, you don't have time for that. So it just pumps adrenaline in my system and lets me get this and that and the other thing done.
I think have some children cough on you. And just have like a week where you just have a massive fever and like the flu, and then you're done.
But you know what I think is going to happen is that as soon as Thanksgiving break happens, I'm going to be the sickest person in the whole world.
Aw, I haven't been sick yet this year.
Neither have I.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, this headache's getting real problematic though. It might be because I'm in freshman land too.
Mm-hmm. Hell.
Because all those germs coming from different places.
There's so many freshmen.
There's a lot. I get to know them better every day.
This podcast is so low energy.
I mean, I'll cut the parts out that aren't as interesting. Let's talk about stuff that's going on at LMU. Things that...
There's nothing going on at LMU.
Well, there's a fun run the other day for breast cancer.
Oh, did you go?
I volunteered at that, yeah.
Who won?
Some guy. It was only a 1 mile fun run, which
Oh.
I thought was a little weird.
What?
Like, who's going to show up to that, right? The reason they're like, well, we want it to be more accessible, so we're going to make it 1 mile. But I think
You do a 1 mile one and then a 5 mile one.
they're like a 5K.
Or a 5K, not a
Right.
5 mile.
Yeah. So less people showed up this year than in years past, and there was more marketing. I think people just weren't interested in doing a 1 mile run.
No one really wants to run. And runners don't want to do 1 mile.
It's fine if it's a 5K walk, you know?
Yeah.
So if they want to walk, they can. It's
Yeah.
just like you have to really like balance between like, if you want people that don't want to run to show up to your fun run and donate, just say you can walk.
Yeah. Feel free to bring your kids and walk.
There was a theater production that I went to yesterday evening called The Resistible Rise of Arturo Ui.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was about like gangsters, but there was a like parallel to Nazi Germany, and saying how it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, there's always like really evil people that can rise from
Always
your culture.
meanies.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like one of those plays where instead of being on a stage and you're in the audience, you're like encircling the stage. And I went with Cora, and during the intermission, we just wanted some fresh air, so we went on a walk. We didn't realize that when the intermission was over, that was it. You couldn't get back in. So we only watched the first half.
Oh.
Felt kind of bad about that. But it was totally not on purpose. And then, yeah, but one of my residents was in that, and that's how I had like originally heard about it. She's a theater major, so she knew about it. But it was really cool to be able to be there and support him. And then there's also like another play which I think was not the same as LMU's production, but that was Dog Sees God.
Oh, yeah.
And you've probably heard some people talking about that. But that was, I hear, a lot sadder than this Arturo Ui, which was kind of funny with like gangster, like Chicago gangster accents. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, LMU's plays are always really fun.
How many have you been to?
I just went to one last year. It's for because I had to go to one for my theater class.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
Oh, I forgot you were in a theater class last year. Yeah.
I'm an actor.
An actor. Yeah, but I mean, both of those productions are now over. So there's like a bit of a dip before all those new ones start happening.
Yeah.
My resident, who has been going to 12-hour rehearsals like weekly, finally has time to focus on other stuff. So I feel really happy for him about that. Fright Night is coming up this week. You might know about that.
Fright Night.
It's something that Creare puts on. It's the service org that I'm in case the audience didn't already know that. Our focus is children, and what we do is we have like a lot of inner city kids who can't usually have a very safe Halloween in their like residential areas. We bring them to LMU and set up a bunch of booths and stands and whatever, so that they're able to dress up and like visit people, get candy, have fun, different activities. So it's really cool. It's a very cool event that we've been doing, I think, since the beginning of Creare. And our 10-year anniversary of Creare is coming up in November, which is very exciting. Because a decade is a long time. But that's coming up this week, and I know that there are a couple people who are in the org who are stressed out about it because it's like our number one event.
Yeah.
In fact, it's our only event on this campus.
Oh.
And I think there's a lot of people on this campus that don't know a whole lot about Creare, if I'm being honest. And I was fortunate enough to get the chance recently to join the e-board of Creare. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. I did?
You did.
And they... really the e-board that I sort of joined in the middle of, they've been very focused on like sort of rebranding Creare, like giving it a much more like present identity on LMU's campus, and they've been doing a really, really good job of that. And so we're trying to like start an advocacy week in the spring, like have something be more like engaging for the rest of the LMU community. We just want to have more events. We're trying to make new pillars. It's really exciting, but also at the same time really frustrating because there's some people who are more like, oh, like tradition, right, versus like new stuff.
Yeah.
And that's been a very interesting project because like change is always good.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to do sometimes.
Some people don't like when new things happen.
But that's what we've been doing. But Fright Night still going to be around no matter what, and it's happening this week on Thursday evening. A lot of the RAs are not going to be able to make it to that.
Aww.
Because it's a mandatory staff meeting at that point in time also.
You're getting fired, all of you.
I'm going to help set up and help break down. And Krayard people are supposed to like dress up in costumes for it.
Oh.
And I don't have a costume.
I don't either.
So I'm just going to be inside out man and wear clothes inside out.
Oh my god.
Which I think is pretty good. It's pretty.
That's fine.
It's resourceful and clever.
Yeah. I was just a greaser, which is like the easiest costume.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know, like people know if you're wearing stuff inside out. It's pretty obvious. It's like if you're intentional with it.
You go, I'm inside out.
Man.
You can wear your shoes inside out?
Yeah, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
I'll just wear my socks inside out.
But people don't notice that. You gotta figure out something with your shoes. Rip them apart, glue them back together.
God, that would be awful. Yeah, but inside out, man, I thought that was pretty genius. I thought about that in like 3 seconds. I was like, well, I don't want to go out and buy something because I really don't. I don't like giving money to things that aren't going to last me a long time.
Yeah.
It's like, let me get all these very specific things that I'm, after Halloween, going to have in my wardrobe and never use for anything.
Yeah.
It just seems wasteful, especially since like a lot of those things are produced in very non-humane places. And I really don't want to like continue to support that industry.
Yeah.
So you really don't know about anything else that's going on campus, though?
No, the library just had the Haunting of Hannon last weekend.
Oh, wow.
Or this
weekend?
This current one. It's over now, but...
Okay. By the time this episode is up in 3 months, then...
It's gone.
It'll have been
So I don't know anything, like, upcoming.
But did you help out with the Haunting of Hannon because you're a library employee?
No.
Okay. What are your plans for Halloween?
No idea yet. We'll see what... We'll play it by ear.
Be spontaneous.
See what the move is.
Yeah. I'm also trying to organize another event with Cray too. Like a pumpkin carving thing. But the person that I'm like who said that they'd be willing to host at their house like says that they're interested in doing it, but every time I text them they just don't respond.
That's the worst.
That's the worst thing. That's another college epidemic.
People don't respond.
Yeah.
Until very much later or just not at all.
It's like, do you know what it means to plan anything?
I know, people suck at planning. Or they'll say, oh yeah, I'll let you know. And you're like, you're not gonna let me know. Or they'll be like, oh, I'm probably free then. Or I've got homework. And you're just like, how busy are... I mean, they're not really... There are busy people out there. Like, you're a really busy person.
Yeah.
Just, you're good at managing your time.
And I also always respond promptly to everything.
There are people I know who are kind of busy, but not really busy, who are horrible at managing their time. And as a result, they just can't do anything. And they think they're, like, swamped. But, like, you can see, like, you're not as swamped as you think.
It's, like, so easy to make just college a scapegoat for why you're busy. So a lot of people don't change their poor study habits because they feel like it's, like, par for the course.
Exactly. People just aren't good. We're complaining a lot about how people suck this episode.
Well, don't they?
They kind of do, yeah.
But you and I know a lot of great people.
Us.
Yeah.
That's it.
You and I know a lot of good people. I know one good person. And
I know one good person.
There you go. Perfect. How convenient.
Both are me.
Wow. Yeah, no, but like, I mean, frankly, like, it's kind of, even though it's shitty when people do, like, fail to, like, make plans in a good way or whatever, like, that's also sort of them, like, indicating to you, like, how good of a friend they have the potential to be.
Exactly.
It's like, it makes it easier to be like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah. If someone falls through a lot, you just can't
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
them.
It's like, how can I rely on?
What's worse is when someone's reliable and then they stop being reliable, and you're like, "Aw."
What happened? What's worse is when you think you have a good friend and they have a complete mental breakdown by stealing someone's hockey stick.
Then
Inside joke.
shit's different after that.
Yeah, shit's way different after that.
Then the server is all weird.
Yeah, there are definitely. It's so funny how in some like relationships that you have with people, there's like that one identifiable moment, electricity, that you're able to that you can tell. You're just like
One electrifying moment.
One electrifying moment that just like completely like powers your falling out with them. Yeah. Please keep doing that. I think honestly that's something that'll make this show enjoyable for like 4 more people, like 100 times more enjoyable, is the inside
for
jokes
4
that are,
people,
like, not appropriate.
They're not going to listen to this. No, those people that know what that means.
That's true. Well, maybe they will. Maybe they won't. What if I started uploading podcast episodes to my YouTube channel with 100 subscribers?
Sure. Or just like post a video saying come check out
the podcast, and then they'll tell their friends about it. I think that'll work. I'll probably do that. I really want to make that slam poem video. You know how I shared that one really confusing poem with you?
Yeah, you should do it.
I should. With this lav mic, hopefully.
Do it now.
Okay.
Stevia is overrated.
Stevia?
Stevia.
What's stevia?
I refuse to call it stevia.
Oh, is that just an Ohio thing?
No, I just don't know. I just decided now.
I mean, isn't it like for coffee? You don't even drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Tea's good.
Tea's fine.
Tea's good. Yeah.
Stevia, cayenne or cayenne.
I call it cayenne.
What is it actually?
Cayenne.
Are you sure?
Yeah, cayenne peppers.
I just feel like most words are wrong.
Well, no, but it's like, doesn't cayenne, like, it's a Spanish word, right?
I'm gonna Google it.
Because, like, if you think about other Spanish words with AY in it, doesn't it usually make an I sound versus an A sound?
There's a 2020 Porsche Cayenne. Cayenne.
Wow, you really are hurting your own case by pronouncing it in the way that I'm pronouncing it.
Which way is it? Tell me. This is the dictionary.com episode of the podcast.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with this? Hold on. Okay.
Is your phone's audio broken? It's cayenne.
Oh, it's connected to my headphones.
Oh my god.
Wait, they're off though. That's weird.
David's now looking for his headphones, trying to find a way to disconnect. He's in his room. What is he doing?
Oh.
He just said, oh, must have discovered something that he was doing wrong, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. And now he's returning, and he's going to play the word cayenne once and for all. Dude.
Cayenne.
See? Fuck, they didn't have to take 3 minutes.
Cayenne. Kai. N. Cayenne.
That'd be a great soundbite to have.
There's a whole thing of pronouncing words.
Yeah, there's a huge lucrative YouTube industry.
Horse ebooks. Horse ebooks.
Wait, why is that?
Horse ebooks.
Oh, somebody else said it.
It's morning in cyberspace, and the systems are in love. A spam bot and a channel. What would the parents think? Together again. It's all just data in the net.
What the fuck is this?
But we're just getting started. There is a man named Dalton. Dalton is dangerous. He's rich, he is strong, and he is going to crash the stock market. Sidewalks crack, streets go dark. 10,000 bankers shake and scream for Dalton's pyramid. Where are the regulators? That's where you come in. I've been trying to tell you something for 5 years.
I find you in the grace of cyberspace. Something is going to happen. In 1 days.
Real confused
Even
about
they
this
have
one.
shit audio.
Wale. Krepo. Xerxes. Angel Ross. Jojoba.
It's so weird. You can hear like a fan in the background.
Yeah. What's something you want to hear pronounced?
Angeles.
Yes.
You've been to Randy's, right?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm going later.
Oh, get me one.
Oh. You mad?
This was 6 years ago.
Why do I look like myself in this picture? Why do I look like someone else?
You look like a different man.
But look, what a great picture.
It's a beautiful photo.
Wiener. Wiener. Wiener.
You want to keep talking about things that are wrong with people?
Sure.
Binge watching.
I like binge watching's fine.
But
As long as it doesn't interfere with your life.
But it like can.
Yeah.
It really can. Like this morning?
Whooping cough.
What? It's whooping.
Hooping. Cough.
Okay, asshole.
Hooping.
He's really assertive about that.
What are all these words?
Like literally 3 episodes of something. That's like 3 hours of your day.
Yeah,
Gone.
it's a lot of time.
So it really like it's just dangerous because it's something.
R.
No one needs to know how to pronounce that.
What about this one?
Lol. Lol.
What about this one?
Italian food.
Dude, was this all recorded in one day?
I have no idea. I feel like this guy just went down the dictionary. Oh god, these are all horrible. Wait, this one. This one's gonna be interesting.
Live.
Don't say the other way.
Live.
Say the other way. It's a much longer video than.
Live.
Okay. All right.
Back then, I only had 2 things to live for. Her and the mission.
Live.
Live.
No.
Where do your new friends live? Hal does not live next to Dawn.
Oh. That's drama right there.
Live. Live. Live.
He got rewind. He got sadder as he was saying it at the end.
Really?
Like the first time he was like live, and then he was like live. Live. Okay, this is the dawn. Yeah, here we go.
Live. Live. Live.
He like gives up.
Bro, that's sad.
That's really sad. But they, what? I mean, he didn't even.
Cayenne.
Cayenne, you not. See, that's the difficult thing about this podcast, is that we can have a funny bit for like 5 minutes, but then like listening back to it sometimes, it's like, wait,
It's like,
this
stop.
went on for too long. Or like the pacing of it is just like really difficult.
Wait, let's complain about people again.
Okay, how about you bring up something?
This guy I know, Alex Moore, is just...
Okay. What do you think about what do you think about cuffing season?
When is that started?
I thought, isn't it just fall?
I guess it's just fall. I think it's interesting.
Like, what do you think about people's like perceptions of it?
It's just because fall is like getting colder.
That's what people say.
And it's also like...
No, go ahead.
Like it's the beginning of the school year.
That's my
and you have
argument.
the second half still.
I stipulate that more so than the it's getting cold argument. Because like for us, for students, like the beginning is always the school year, and it's always like sort of blank slate, time to start something new. It's just weird that like it's sort of like why is our generation so obsessed with like labeling everything like, oh, it's cuffing season, right?
I don't think that's specific to our generation.
Well, okay, I guess
it's
that's
just
true.
something humans do.
Thing? Yeah.
Humans love labeling things.
Yeah.
Because it helps them think.
Yeah, it does.
And thinking's hard.
It's like you don't need to rationalize like...
That's why bigots exist, because they just label all of a certain people a certain way.
That's true.
People need to think.
Yeah. I know. It's just like a weird way to like rationalize just people, like a large amount of people going like, oh, let's do this. Because like when you call it, I think calling it something like cuffing season really puts a lot of pressure on people who might not be as interested in doing that, you know?
Doing this for 42 minutes.
Well, that's good. I mean, there's going to be a lot of it cut out probably, but since it's such a low energy episode, I could probably work on homework while I'm doing it instead of like being demanded constant attention, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe this should just be every episode where we talk about...
We just talk about how much people are annoying.
Trash. Yeah. I mean, humanity is just so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just create things that make it easier to like live your life, but a lot of the times it like impacts other people's lives in a really negative way. It just sucks.
That's why we should all delete Tinder from our phones.
What do you think of Tinder?
It's fine. It's just like people are looking for a lot of different things on it.
Mm-hmm. And there's like a lot of
miscommunication. And like, it's kind of difficult because it's always like guys are supposed to message first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like...
I know.
It's
like,
tough.
We're in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of this institutionalized like cordialness, which dates back to like medieval times, like is still like imposed by like these modern technologies, which is very strange.
I don't want to message first.
And you shouldn't have to.
That's why Bumble exists.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because girls have to message.
It's like an anti-Tinder.
Bumble, yeah. Get Bumble.
I don't need Bumble.
Bumble's weird because it's like you can set settings for just finding like friends.
Yeah.
Let's find some new friends.
Yeah, let's find some friends. Looking for a friend who is good at making plans.
I would just be curious to like just see like the kind of people who are on there looking for friends. Do you know what I mean?
Like, why would you go on the internet to look for friends, though?
That's what I mean. I want to know, like, the type of person. Like, maybe they're, like, really genuine people who just have bad luck, or maybe they're, like, really weird.
Is that really something that you would want to, like, risk, though?
What?
Just, like... Because if they end up being really weird...
Yeah.
Like, I think you and I are both very polite people. In general, unless you're like talking to AJ for the first time.
Then I'm very rude.
And you're very rude in that case, but in most other cases we're pretty polite. So it's like if we're nice, if like we hit it off with someone at first, but then we kind of find that they're a little weird later on, it's so hard to be like, hey, like you're weird.
I don't know. I feel like I can usually tolerate a lot of weirdness from people. It's just there's sometimes a level where it's sort of like antisocial weirdness.
Yeah.
Like there's so like weirdness that's still like compatible with you. You can just accept it because most people are pretty weird underneath.
To specify, like, that's not the kind of weirdness that I have a problem with.
We're weird guys.
Oh yeah, and I also I realized that in this episode where we're complaining about people behaviors, like I'm sure there's maybe
there's someone listening to this
who's listening to me saying,
like,
oh,
fuck
we're
Alex.
So nice that we're whatever, and they're like
who are these pieces of shit?
We sound like hypocrites, which is fair. Like you're allowed to have that opinion, and that's why this podcast exists. Please, please comment.
Please comment about how much you hate us.
Yeah, we would love that. Feedback is always appreciated. But yeah, like the antisocial weirdness is difficult because it's like when people there are certain people who, I guess I feel like I'm very fortunate to be able to pick up on the social cues that I can pick up on, but there are some people that don't have the ability to do that as well.
Usually people with Asperger's or something. And I always feel bad if you meet someone I meet a lot of really nice people that I become friends with, but then there's some that are a little just because the antisocialness sometimes it's just so incompatible.
It makes the relationship feel
it makes it
pressure
and strained. That's just of a couple people though. Most people are totally normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally
and
fine.
I mean, I really do want to drive home that people with sort of mental disabilities or social disabilities. I know what you mean. Yeah.
That doesn't restrict you or anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's sometimes hard to sustain a mutually friendships should always be mutually beneficial, and sometimes it can feel hard to sustain a mutually beneficial friendship with those sorts of people just because there's certain things that they need and counseling that you're unable to provide.
It's the same thing as if people with mental illnesses. Sometimes when you get to know someone, they seem nice, and then sometimes their depression is too much of a strain on your friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
And then same thing with people who are just bad people.
I know that's such a difficult part about
there's just
human
people
existence.
have so many flaws, and then sometimes they're just not compatible with you because of their flaws.
I know. I heard this one.
Doesn't mean they're not compatible with everyone. It's just that everyone's so unique.
Exactly.
So if you're a really like a person who really likes to go out and hang out all the time, and then you try to befriend someone who's likes to stay in their room and is kind of really depressed, that friendship's not gonna
it's very incompatible.
Not gonna really work super well. But that person could easily befriend someone who's similar to them.
Exactly.
And they could build a better friendship. You just have to find the right friends and the right people.
Yeah. And then at the same time, I remember hearing in a TED Talk, it's sometimes the people that I don't know, just people that need support, but everyone's got their own shit going on. Yeah. It's you don't want someone else's issues to become your issues.
Exactly.
As RAs, what they tell us is if there is a student who is who has a legitimate mental health need or concern, that's when you refer them to SPS.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's only so much that we can do as RAs are just paid friends pretty much. We obviously get paid to do our administrative duties and whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we are just there to be there for people and be a resource in case that they need something. But there's stuff that's even over our pay grade, and we get paid a lot.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff that we just can't handle, and a lot of that has to do with mental health concerns. Because there's only so much that we know and that we can say to people that would allow them to sort of better themselves. And that's just so tough because even with RAs who get an extensive amount of training, even if we're told that it's too much for us to handle, there's other people who aren't RAs who do have friends like that, and it's there's this pressure to stay friends with them because you don't want to hurt them.
But sometimes it's kind of hurting you
exactly
to be friends with them.
That's exactly what I mean with the whole mutual friendship, mutually beneficial relationship. So it's just it's so hard.
Relationships are very difficult because people, you give and take in a relationship, and if it's kind of unbalanced, if your expectations are off, if it's just sort of not compatible, the wrong boundaries, the friendship is just not going to work. And that happens to a lot of people. That's what leads to abusive sort of situations.
Exactly. Yeah. I know. And I mean, that some degree of like weirdness happened last year, I would say. With a particular friendship that we alluded to briefly earlier. Yeah, it's just sometimes you're just incompatible, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to be all right with that, because I think some people might be like obsessed with like, oh no, but like this friendship is X, Y, and Z. Good for them, bad for them, whatever, and they convince themselves into like staying or leaving a relationship that is like not something they should be doing. The opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be friends with a million people. You don't have to always have a perfect harmonious relationship with somebody. And if you find that the moments of bad outweigh the moments of good, you don't have to. No one's asking you to stay in that relationship.
You have to control your own destiny.
Yeah, you just. Yeah, sometimes just people. It sucks. You see people with really shitty friends, and they feel like they have nowhere else to go. And then it's like, oh god, this is just like a really mind-bending hypothetical. It's like somebody has bad friends, and then they leave them, and then you're their only friend, and then their stress becomes your stress.
Oh yeah,
it's so complicated.
That's just you don't want to feel like a bad person.
Yeah, that's just life though.
Yeah.
Complicated. Like, what are you gonna do? We're all humans. We're all making it through this life together, trying to figure shit out. It doesn't matter because the universe is expanding.
Life's crazy.
Life's awesome. Life's good.
It's got really depressing.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I don't think I need to cut that out though.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Because that's actually a really important discussion.
People don't really talk about that.
Yeah.
No, they should.
I know. Yeah. And like, yeah, because mental health is just such a big and very prevalent problem, especially among young people. And I don't like, here I go again on my high horse, so forgive me, but like.
Comment how much you want to steal his high horse. Turn it into glue.
Oh, that's good. I've never heard that before. Turn your high horse into glue.
I just invented that.
That's awesome. I fucking love that.
Fucking trademark.
I'm about to glue your high horse.
I'm gonna turn your high horse into glue real quick.
Yeah. No, I mean, the only reason I'm on this high horse is because of like scientific proof. It's like with just more anxiety, especially with FOMO through social media, like people feeling like that they're not doing enough with their lives because they see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
That just makes me sad. A lot of the reason that I don't like social media is not because I think it makes people like stupid or antisocial or whatever. I think it just makes them sad. And I don't like seeing people sad.
Everyone needs to be happy.
Well, yeah. No, yes. Well,
everyone should strive to be happy.
Yeah, everyone should be happy.
If you're not happy, that's okay.
Yeah. Because saying needs to be makes it seem like it's like a mandate.
We're not mandating you be happy.
People should be allowed to feel the way that they feel without having to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But people also shouldn't be forced to feel that way because of things that are out of their control, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, seeing what your friend is doing in Spain on their 3-week excursion. Yeah. Barcelona.
Wait.
What? Oh, yeah. Well, he's talking about that. He's looking that up. It's just hard because, like, shared experience and, like, wanting to live vicariously through other people is a huge part of, like, humanity. Like, sharing your stories with other people. That's why we made this podcast,
Oh, they don't have it.
We made this podcast because we want to hear what other people have experienced, and, like, find, like, some sort of common ground. But, like, it can be really damaging to just be constantly exposed to the fun that other people are having. Because like we said at the start of this podcast, people greatly filter what they're willing to share.
Barcelona.
Oh, God.
This one was horrible.
I miss the old guy.
The old guy didn't have Barcelona.
Okay. No, keep it there. It'll happen eventually.
Barcelona.
I thought it was Barcelona.
Well,
Barcelona.
No.
Barcelona.
They say it
Barcelona.
they say it as Barcelona.
Barcelona?
Because I'm pretty sure it becomes in that dialect or that accent.
Okay, let's
not
talk about Barcelona anymore. We can cut that.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I said my thing.
Yeah.
That point still stands. What do you think? Because I know you were searching. Maybe you weren't paying attention.
I wasn't.
Okay. Well, I was saying stuff about just basically like it's great to live vicariously through people in some aspects of your life, but not every aspect.
Yeah, you need to draw boundaries.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And you need to, I think a lot of people need to understand that like when somebody's having fun doing something, that doesn't mean that what they're doing is the only way to have fun.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that you can enjoy your life in so many methods. I just feel like there's like the more of a concentration of certain things that are fun that like appear in like your social media feed or through hearsay, it's like those tend to be the things that people gravitate to.
Yeah.
And then they create this conception in their mind like, oh, these other things that aren't as commonly associated with fun couldn't possibly be fun.
Yeah.
And that's what like I think that's a major driving force behind college party culture, behind like the pressures to like date people because there's like fun associated with that. Yeah, things just need to happen organically. People need to find stuff out for themselves, I think. But obviously support from other people is good. Like I like board games, but if I like if you were to invite the entire college campus to play board games, right, probably 10 to 15% of people would be interested. Just because it's not something that is commonly associated with fun, even though it is fun. Like people shouldn't have to be afraid of trying new things. Because just because it doesn't seem like it would be fun doesn't mean it won't be.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing it safe is often the way to make yourself miserable.
Yeah. Everyone, take a risk.
Take a risk every day. Small ones. Buy a new thing at the den. Get a different drink.
Call your mom.
Yeah. Take a risk. Call your mom. Or your guardian. If you don't,
or your moms, or your dad, or dads,
or your grandparents, or your legal guardians, if you didn't have the privilege to have
whatever your
parents growing up.
Anyone, call someone.
Call a friend from high school that you haven't talked to in a while, because it will mean the world to them if you didn't have a falling out with them.
Call me.
2 1 1.
It's not my number.
So you know how I mentioned Randy's earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna pick me up for Randy's at 6:30.
Oh, can you get me the giant donut?
You want me to come back?
Bring me the one
on
that's
top.
one on top.
Is there any other crazy human race thing that you wanted to talk about?
No. I don't know. Humans be wild.
If that's the one thing you want to take away from this podcast today, let that be it.
Yeah. Humans are wild, and also I am never gonna make that email.